call the City Council meeting to order, Monday, June 19th, 2006, right at 7 o'clock p.m.
I wish I had a board.
This evening we have the invocation by the Reverend Carlos Otero from the First United Methodist Church, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, Police Explorers, and Councilwoman Bell. Would you all please stand?
Let us pray. Gracious God, we thank you for this day, and we can come together as free citizens in this land to exercise our right of government. We thank you, Lord, for the leaders that have been elected to serve. We pray, Lord, your blessing upon them here. Give them wisdom, give them insight. Lord, give to all here this evening clarity of thought and desire for your justice and your righteousness. We pray, Lord, for the peace and the prosperity of the community of Homestead. And we thank you, Lord, for all the blessings that you have showered upon us here. And we just invite you now, Lord, to be a part of our civic proceedings, that acknowledging that you are the Lord of heaven and earth, and that we all stand under your authority. These things we pray in the name of your Son, our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Please join me as we salute our nation's symbol of freedom. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Warren?
Here.
Vice Mayor Losner?
Here.
Councilwoman Bell?
Here.
Councilwoman Garner?
Here.
Councilman Hodge?
Here.
Councilman Porter?
Here.
Councilwoman Walden?
Here.
Additions, deletions, or deferrals, do we have any?
Yes, Mayor, as indicated on our agenda here. Should I read that into the record? Under additions, deletions, this is a deferral. A resolution of the City of Homestead, Florida, granting preliminary plat and site plan approval for Homestead Pavilion, a commercial retail center consisting of 399,600 square feet on approximately 36.97 acres of land located north of Southwest 312th Street, Campbell Drive, east of Southwest 157 Avenue, west of the Homestead extension of the Florida Turnpike, and south of Southwest 308th Street as legally described in Exhibit A, and providing for an effective date deferred to July 17th, 06.
Thank you, sir.
That's it.
Well, on June 12th, someone had a very special day, and it's Amanda Garner. It was her birthday. So let's say happy birthday to Amanda Garner.
Thank you.
She has aged as a result of being in politics. Special presentation, State Representative District 120 candidate, Mr. Spencer Slate. Would you come forward, please? Mr. Slate, I think I saw him in there. Yeah.
He's here. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, City Council. I feel like I'm in my hometown. I, of course, live in Key Largo, but for over the last 29 years, I've been actually up here just about as much. My business in Key Largo, we actually teach at the YMCA over here across from, since our terrible Hurricane Andrew. I am Spencer Slade, and I'm running for House Seat 120, and I want to thank you for letting me speak for a brief moment. I am a businessman in Key Largo. I've been there for 29 years. My basic platform, of course, is to make our place a better, our home, our district, which is part of Miami, of course, the Homestead area, and the Keys, a better place to live and work. I have basically 6 tenets of my platform, and that's, of course, less government, ensure lower taxes, empower personal responsibility, protect individual liberties, empower families, and maintain public security. Those are the broad tenets of my platform. I am very familiar with the district we're in up here. My family in North Carolina, where I grew up, was farming for over 100 years, and I found out how hard that was, and I came to Key Largo and decided to open a charter boat business, which, of course, has been pretty good, except for the last 2 winters, as we all know, in our business. I'm a past teacher. I taught at Florida Junior College in Jacksonville, Florida, and I was a high school teacher for 6 years, and then I came to Key Largo in 1979. I know how to make a payroll. I know how to fight for our decisions. I know the roadblocks that government puts up in front of us, and I know how to fight for you in Tallahassee, and I plan to do that. I know how to create jobs, and I know how to educate a child. You can count on me if I'm so elected to be your supporter in Tallahassee. I am a fighter. I know what it is up there. I've spent many years up there as a non-paid lobbyist for our industry throughout Florida, our dive industry. We make presentations every year to the legislature, and I've spent 2 years up there, the last 2 years, as a kind of a personal aide to Representative Ken Sorensen in session, and he is, of course, supporting me. So with that, if anyone has any questions other than that, I'd like to tell you that I will have an open door policy and a willing ear, and I look forward to your support.
Okay. Any questions?
Mayor, I just want to make one comment.
Mr. Porter?
As we, this District 120, although it's a Keys district, it does touch on Homestead, and Ken Sorensen is an individual that's been term limited out, and he has been our go-to guy for a very, very long time up there. And this is an open seat, and this is a very important election for the city of Homestead, because we're losing someone that has been tremendous for us. And we need to be, as much of us that get a chance to vote in the District 120 election, we need to find out the candidates who are going to represent the Keys, but also represent the interest of the Miami-Dade County, southern Miami-Dade County, because there's a little bit of a difference of opinion across the board. And one thing that I will say from Ken Sorensen in the past, he's been very open-minded, very open-doored, and that's the kind of a representative, Spencer, that I think we're looking for. And we would hope that if you do get to that elected position, that you remember Homestead and remember our needs, and remember that when we come up knocking on the door, please open it. Whether you can help us or not, please listen to our concerns, because it's very important. It's very important to this community that we get someone strong like a Ken Sorensen in this position. So best of luck. I'm sure we'll hear from other candidates as well, Mayor, and I thank you for giving Mr. Slade an opportunity to address the city.
Thank you, Mr. Slade.
Thank you, sir.
And you mentioned how hard farming was. Wait till you get into politics. But thank you, sir, and good luck. We have the Authors of the Month for April 2006, Detective Anthony Aquino. Councilman Porter. Detective is getting them too often, Chief. Are you cheating or what?
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Vice Mayor, City Council, Mr. City Manager. Of course, we have Chief Alroll here. Major Scott Kennedy is in charge of our Uniform Patrol Division. Detective Tony Aquino, of course, Councilman Porter, our Public Safety Chairman. Tony's been a detective for about 2 years. He primarily works robberies. He's been with the department for 20 years, and I'd say almost 14 of those years, he saw the young men and women, the explorers that were doing the flag honor at the beginning of this ceremony. He did that for 14 years, did one heck of a job. But I will tell you, I'm glad he's in the Detective Bureau. He does a great job. He's our April Officer of the Month, and he made a total of 8 felony arrests, 2 misdemeanor arrests, and he actually worked 114 cases during that month. I'll go over some of his cases. One case he had was a strong-arm robbery where a migrant worker was robbed by 2 ladies of the evening. Unfortunately, the address given was not a good address. To let you know how hard Tony does work even to find a victim, he had a cell phone number given on the report. He got a subpoena, and the correct address was on the phone record, or when the guy bought the phone. So he found the individual. He already had 2 suspects in mind. He got a positive identification, and the 2 young ladies were arrested for strong-arm robbery. And I will tell you, any victims that we do have in the city that are migrants, Tony makes sure he finds them wherever they are and makes sure that they get to court. And these people get prosecuted. That's a very important thing, because if the victim doesn't go, the bad guys are back on the street. He had another case involving an ATV. I guess a kid was talking to another kid about racing ATVs. He had the kid's phone number. When he met the kid to race him, some other kids jumped out of the bushes or wherever they were at and stole his ATV. Tony got another subpoena for phone records and located that subject and arrested him. One case that he worked that actually he probably spent most of the month on. I don't know if you remember, but there was a child found in the city of Miami. Didn't know who the mother and father were. It was a toddler. Came out that the mother of the child was missing. She lived here in Homestead. Tony began investigating the case, and I'm telling you, he worked nonstop, talking to people, and it looked like there was foul play in this case. Miami-Dade Homicide handles our homicides. They couldn't get involved because basically in a homicide case, no body, no evidence of a crime. Our crime scene unit checked the apartment where the guy lived, didn't find any evidence. He made contact with U.S. Customs, talked to the SAC in charge out there, found out that the passport was used from this individual, and he went to Dominican Republic. The federal government from our country helped out, and they actually did locate the guy, but he made it over the border. Tony worked very close with Miami-Dade Homicide, convinced them that this was a homicide. They redid some crime scenes. The car was located. There was some evidence found in the car. After a period of time, this individual was finally found in the Dominican Republic. The warrant for his arrest was for abandonment of the toddler. He was extradited back over here, and I do believe he made a full confession in this case for the murder. And actually, unfortunately, the mother was found in the waters down in the Keys sometime later. But you can just see the type of work that Tony does. He does a great job. This is his family over here, and we support him. And he does a great job for our department. So it's with great pleasure he receives Officer of the Month for April. When Tony was he ran the Police Explorer program, and he did a wonderful job. When the chief decided that he needed to ask Tony to step up, we all weren't really sure about the chief's ideas, but Chief, as usual, you always knew it was right, and Tony, when he stepped up, he really stepped up as a detective and has done a fabulous job. Personally, in the villages of Homestead, someone was rattling doors and actually rattled my own personal door, and Tony was there in a flash, caught the guy running down the street changing shirts and trying to get away, and not with Tony on, he's not going to get away. So when I showed up, the gentleman, he was my brother-in-law or son-in-law or sister-in-law. He was trying everything he could. But it is with great pleasure, Tony, you've been here so many times, you could probably read these awards to me, but I'm going to read them to you. This is from the local business community. We are very gracious that the community does step up and honor these officers with just a little bit of an award package where they can have a little bit of enjoyment in their free times. But this package, Tony, is Awards Inc. is the donation of the plaque. The City Attorney's Office, David is here tonight, is a $100 check. First National Bank of South Florida is a $50 savings bond. Tony's Southern Grill is a free meal of choice.
Ferguson's Jewelry is a $75 gift certificate. Ruby Tuesdays is a $25 gift certificate. Global Technology Partners Inc. is $50. Logos Old Dixie Highway is a $50 gift certificate. Carl Pelt is a $25 value oil change. Homestead Transfer and Storage is a $25 check. Dale Blake is a $300 value lube detail tire rotation. Captain Car Wash is a $20 value car wash. Evolution Web Inc. Paul Kruger is a $20 gift certificate. And Mita Jensen is two memberships to the Homestead Community Concerts. And Tony, this is your plaque that you can put up next to all your other plaques. Just get them in the right date. It says presented to Detective Tony Aquino for being selected Officer of the Month for April 2006. Tony, congratulations. Let me say one final thing to the business community. Anyone that would like to participate in honoring and rewarding these officers for what a fine job that they really do. Patty Sullivan is the assistant to the mayor and the council. If you would like to participate, the clerk's office, the manager's office, any of the council members, but we really are honored by one of the best police departments that any municipality has, and it's just an opportunity for us to give just a tiny bit back. And I'm so proud of the community, and I'm so proud of the police department. Mayor, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, Mayor, City Council, for those wonderful accolades, but I'm not the only person that deserves them, believe me. It's an entire unit that does and works together hard. First, thank you, Chief, and the Chief and our Captain and Majors. We have great leadership and is able to bring our police department closer and closer in my 20 years of experience here, and I've seen it grow more and more. And just like I started off as an explorer, as a jailer, as a police officer to detective, every one of my supervisors here are examples of that grown within the department. But there's other people on the afternoon shift that are not here right now, and that's Detective Guerrero and some other ones that help very close in hand when these individuals get robbed, regardless if they are migrant workers or the city councilman's house. Everyone gets a professional service from our police department and dedication, and we look for that individual as hard as any other one that we would look for. Once again, if it's from a council member or a migrant or regular citizens, everyone gets the same respect and investigations. Matter of fact, we see one of our citizens here that I saw him sitting in our audience that he's been robbed out of his house, and they took a lot of things, and there's major subjects that we got on there, and he's been coming back and forth to court with me for the last 2 years on 3 major criminals that were career criminals and gores, and he always shows up for court. But that's what we're here for. Thank you for this opportunity, being a police officer, Chief, and being a great example. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Porter. Next is the presentation of Safety Award winners for June and the Safety Award winners for May and April. Ms. Councilwoman Wall.
I want to thank Mr. Losner. I think you handled this for me last time when I was out sick, so I appreciate that. This, of course, is the Safety Award Program. The City of Homestead recognizes 3 employees each month. They must be a full-time employee of the City of Homestead, must be free of accidents and injuries for the preceding 6 consecutive months, and must not have received workers' compensation benefits for the preceding 6 consecutive months. The recognition includes a certificate, a paid day off, a safety badge. Their names are posted for recognition in the main lobby bulletin board at City Hall, and a $25 check from our city attorneys. So with that being said, I'd like to invite the employee for the month of May, Benita Benson. Is Benita here? Brunson? There she is. Benita is with the Solid Waste Division, Public Works. Congratulations. I'd like to ask Anthony Wilson to come forward. Anthony? And Anthony is with the Solid Waste Division as well. Y'all are going to get a day off. Congratulations. Willie, there you are. Willie is with the power plant, the utilities department, and congratulations, Willie. These are your employees of the month for safety. Thank you. You want to get a picture? Probably no one's here with the camera. Patty? Is anybody here with the camera? Oh, they're outside. Okay. Well, is this where we dance and do a little song? Ellie has a camera here. You got a camera? Claire will take a picture. Okay, let's act like we like each other. Yeah, look at this. She knows how to stand sideways.
Those digital cameras are just great. You can see if you got it, and you can go home and download it, and boom, there it is. I got a little printer too now. Right.
Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations again.
Yeah, a little, where whatever's on the disc will print off.
Thank you, Councilwoman Woolman. We're going to move on now to, where are we at the consent agenda?
I'll move it, Mayor.
Moved by Councilwoman Bell. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Hodge. Any questions on the consent agenda? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing, ordinances, land use items. David?
James White will handle this portion of the agenda. Thank you, James.
Please be advised that the following items on the board's agenda are quasi-judicial in nature. If you wish to comment upon any of these items, please indicate the item number you would like to address when the announcement regarding the quasi-judicial item is made. An opportunity for persons to speak on each item will be made available after the applicant and staff have made their presentations on each item. Swearing in. All testimony, including public testimony and evidence, will be made under oath or affirmation. Additionally, each person who gives testimony may be subject to cross-examination. If you do not wish to be either cross-examined or sworn, your testimony will be given its due weight. The general public will not be permitted to cross-examine witnesses, but the public may request the council to ask questions of staff or witnesses on their behalf. The full agenda packet on each item is hereby entered into the record. Persons representing organizations must present evidence of their authority to speak for the organization. Further details of the quasi-judicial procedures may be obtained from the clerk. In accordance with Code Section 2-591, any lobbyist must register before addressing the council on any of the following items. At this time, council members must disclose any ex parte communications concerning any items on the agenda. Hearing none, at this time the clerk will swear in any persons who wish to testify on any quasi-judicial item.
Please stand and raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Rick Chandra,
Hereby swear or affirm that the information I present shall be the truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God. Thank you.
Item A is a resolution of the City of Homestead, Florida, granting final plat approval for Capri at Oasis, located within the Oasis PUD, southeast of the Homestead extension of the Florida Turnpike, north of 320th Street, Maui Drive, west of Southwest 152nd Avenue, and south of Pacific Boulevard, as legally described in Exhibit A, an approximately 24.46-acre site consisting of 116 single-family units and providing for an effective date.
I'll move this, Mayor.
Moved by Councilwoman Bell, second by Councilman Hodge. Any questions? Any questions from?
Comment. It's always nice to see single-family homes coming in on the east side instead of the townhouses, and I have to comment, and I really appreciate the density because I know this developer actually got less units than he actually could have, so this is a good one, folks.
Thank you, Councilwoman Bell. This is a public hearing. Any comments from the audience? Any comments from the audience? This is a public hearing. Hearing none, I'll close the public hearing. Any final comments from council? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Garner?
Yes.
Councilman Hodge?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Losner?
Yes.
Councilman Porter?
Yes.
Councilwoman Waldman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bell?
Yes.
Mayor Warren?
Yes.
Motion carries.
That concludes the quasi-judicial section of your agenda. Moving on to legislative matters, item number 8A is the resolution of the City of Homestead, Florida, adopting the evaluation and appraisal report, the year of the comprehensive plan contained in Exhibit A, and authorizing transmittal of the report to the Department of Community Affairs pursuant to the provisions of the Local Government Comprehensive Planning and Land Development Regulation Act, and providing for an effective date.
I'll move this thing.
Second.
Moved by Councilwoman Waldman, second by Councilman Hodge. Any comments from council?
Question, Mayor.
Mr. Porter and then Ms. Bell.
How long did it take to compile all this information? Does anyone know exactly?
Usually probably a year.
Yeah. I'd say it was about a year we've been in this process.
It's a very extensive, it's an extensive
Yes,
study of the...
It's a pretty thick document.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Ms. Bell?
Thank you. Yeah, my compliments on this evaluation. It's very, very well done. I have a question, though. As I was reading this, I looked at the current homestead population projections, and I found the population projections to be, in my estimation, a bit on the low side.
The original
These are the
population. Did you look in Appendix G? Was that where you're looking, or in the body?
Through the body.
Okay, that was one of the things that we had to adjust. Yes, we have revised, and we used the methodology that the Transportation Master Plan is using for all the new growth on the east side. So I think 2005 would be based on Bieber estimates, and then we switch over to the estimates based on the Transportation Master Plan.
Very good. Thank you. Answers that.
Any other comments? Well, this is a public hearing. Any comments from the audience? Any comments from the audience? Hearing none, I'll close the public hearing. Any final comments from council? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Hodge?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Losner?
Yes.
Councilman Porter?
Yes.
Councilwoman Waldman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Garner?
Yes.
Mayor Warren?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item B is the first reading of an ordinance of the City of Homestead, Florida, amending the City Code of Ordinances by amending Chapter 30 zoning, Article 3, District Regulations, Division 13, B3 Liberal Commercial District, to clarify uses permitted, amending Article 4 Supplemental District Regulations, Division 8, Special Exceptions, to provide that hardware stores of 2,000 square feet or more in size shall be a special exception in the B2 Retail Commercial District, providing for severability, providing for inclusion in the code, providing for conflicts, and providing for an effective date. This is first reading.
I'll move this, Mayor.
Moved by Vice Mayor Losner, second by Councilwoman Bell. Any comments from council? Any comments? If not, I'll open the public hearing. This is the first reading of this ordinance. Any comments from the audience? Any comments from the audience? Hearing none, I'll close the public hearing. Any final comments from council? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Losner?
Yes.
Councilman Porter?
Yes.
Councilwoman Waldman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Garner?
Yes.
Councilman Hodge?
No.
Mayor Warren?
Yes.
Motion carries.
At this time, do we have any public comments? Any public comments? Hearing none, we'll go on to business from the city manager, Mr. Ivey.
Mr. Mayor and Council, I have a couple of items. One announcement, Congressman Mario Diaz-Balart will hold a Medicaid and Medicare fraud event at the William F. Dickinson Senior Center, that's at 43 Northeast 16th Street in the city of Homestead on June 26th at 10:30 a.m. Diaz-Balart will meet with constituents to discuss how to protect themselves and their health care benefits from fraud and abuse. There will be professionals on hand from the office of Congressman Mario Diaz-Balart, the Senior Medicare and Medicaid Patrol, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, and the Office of the U.S. Attorney. The Mayor's 4th Annual State of the City Address will take place on Tuesday, June 27th. Mayor Roscoe Warren will deliver his 4th annual State of the City address on Tuesday the 27th at 12 p.m. in the Champions Club at the Homestead Miami Speedway, 1 Speedway Boulevard. If you're interested in attending, please call 305-224-4447. I would like to add that there's been some question about the time and people who can make it, can't make it issues. I want to clarify that a copy of the mayor's speech will be available on our website at www.cityofhomestead.com the day after the June 27th event. A video of the speech will be available for viewing a few days after the event on the city website as soon as we can get that tape available and get it onto the website. A video of the speech will be played back on cable stations in town, as we usually do on our meetings, at a time to be determined. We don't know yet. We have to wait till the cable company schedules those. Last item is City Hall will be closed on Tuesday, July 4th in observance of Independence Day. And there will be no residential or commercial garbage or trash collections on that day. Repeat, no collections of trash and garbage on that day. That's all I have, Mayor.
And with that speech, Mr. Manager, I'm glad you brought it up. And I think traditionally the local paper also published the entire speech, and I hope that's a continuation. And we'll make sure you get a copy in advance so we could have that published very quickly. So, thank you, Mr. Manager. Business from the Mayor and Council. Councilwoman Bell.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, I wanted to comment, you told Spencer Slate that politics is a lot harder than farming, and I actually was thinking that it's probably a lot alike because both of us get to spread a lot of manure around. I really want to thank Rosemary Fuller for honoring our kids at the last council meeting. I know that we had the marathon meeting and there was really no time for comment, and I had contacted the school to honor them and discovered that Rosemary was already doing it with the Human Relations Board, so I just want to thank her for doing that. I think that was very, very well done. I'm starting something, and I'm going to be starting a monthly work day within the City of Homestead. I'm going to be visiting a different department every single month and spending an entire day with them, whether they want me to or not. I'm going to be learning. It's a warning. And really my goal is to learn the inner workings of the city. And my first work day in July is going to be with Public Works and Julio. And I'm going to make the rounds to each and every department because I really want to see the departments from the inside out, not just from our view here. So I'm going to be writing a monthly article on what I've learned or gleaned from those particular departments. And so I'll be happy to share that with you when I have my first work day. Also, the Kai's company, sponsored a Chamber Involvement 101, and they had a really nice patriotic theme, and I just thought it was a fabulous, fabulous event. I also attended the Lincoln Day dinner this month where Governor Jeb Bush was the speaker, and he was absolutely fabulous. We just also recently had a change of command ceremony with our commander, Carlos Mercado. He left for Hawaii, Mayor, but somebody has to do it. And he was the first commander of the Maritime Safety and Security Team in Miami, and he will be sorely missed. He was absolutely wonderful. Also, the Public Works Week celebration was very nice, and I went over to Harrisfield to kind of celebrate with our Public Works department. And the Kids Hope United had a wonderful, wonderful ribbon cutting ceremony, and we are going to be sponsoring the backpack project for Kids Hope United. So anybody out there that wants to contribute to the backpack project, the backpacks are $30 a piece, and so far I've already gotten a sponsor for 25 backpacks. So the total amount that we need is about $15,000, and this is for foster children who don't have a lot, and this is Kids Hope United really works hard on placing hard to place kids, if you will. So I'm very excited about that. I also attended the Miami-Dade College focus group with community leaders, and we're taking a look at what Miami-Dade College is doing well, what Miami-Dade College can do better. So it was a very, very good focus group, very, very well attended. Also, I went to SciTech, which is a school for integrated academics and technologies, to speak on behalf of the school to get their accreditation, and it's an offshoot of the Job Corps program. And let me tell you, this is a fabulous, fabulous program where young people, it's kind of like the end of the road for them, and it's a second and maybe a third chance for them to come out of there with a GED. And the SciTech program gives them some type of specialty in the area of technology. And they come out of there knowing how to do an ICAD system, different types of PowerPoints, and they really feel empowered by what they've learned through this program. So I'm very excited about that. And from what I hear, the accreditation process is going very, very well, and they appreciated the city's representation there. Also attended the Police Explorer graduation ceremony last month with Councilman Porter, and it was super, super good. And all the 3 concerts that were here in the month of May to celebrate Military Appreciation Month, they were phenomenal. There was the brass band at Southdade High School, there was the Celtic band at Studio 100 at the Outlet Mall, and then the finale was the jazz band at Losner Park. And it was just a really, really great weekend, and I attended all the 3 concerts. It was so wonderful. Also, and I think the mayor briefly talked about the lobbying trip that we all took to D.C. I really felt very, very good about that trip. I felt like it was probably one of the most productive trips that I've taken representing the city, and the face-to-face that we got to have with our congressman, Senator Nelson, and Senator Martinez's office, and I just felt very, very, very warmly received, of course, by Congressman Mario Diaz-Balart's office. He's just phenomenal. So I want to thank him a lot for that. Also, we had the groundbreaking for the new fire station, and that's very excited and long, long, long overdue. And finally, the EFBD first school is very, very close to getting all of its permitting problems resolved. And all of our permitting problems have been on the environmental side. And I'm sure you know that that's no surprise. The first hurdle we had to jump was with Durham. And basically they took 5 acres that we wanted as our park site to put lighted soccer fields. They took that and made us mitigate that, and we're having to turn that into a wetlands area in between 2 schools. So go figure. So then the second issue was with the South Florida Wildlife and the Army Corps of Engineers, because there was a panther sighted 20-plus years ago, and so we're having to work out those permitting problems because of that panther sighting so many years ago. But we're very, very close, I hear, and so I'm very encouraged. So far, I want to let you know that we are 18 months into the permitting process. We as the EFBD are ready to go. We've got the design build team, the managers are set, the attorneys are set. I mean, we are all set to go. We are simply waiting on permitting. So I would tell you, I have a newfound respect for the school board and what it takes and the hurdles you have to jump in this county just to get something, out of the ground. So, Mayor, so thank you for hanging in on that, with us on that. I wanted to give you an update because there have been some comments about what's happening with that EFBD school. So hopefully in the not-too-distant future, you're going to be hearing of a groundbreaking for our first EFBD school, and that's going to be monumental. And that's it, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Garner.
Thank you, Mayor. Just to give you an update from our code committee, we'll be meeting tomorrow. We've been meeting the past few months. We have a timeline. We're going to bring forward some business licensing code, which I know, Mr. Losner, you're anxious to hear about. That will be coming up in our July City Council meeting. And at our last council meeting, we had several members that weren't here, and we had some new commercial development standards that came through. That didn't actually come through my committee, so I'm going to be meeting with Sherry and Rick and going to give a recommendation as a chairperson, so I'll be bringing that as well. Sherry, I want to thank you for all your hard work. You're a great addition to our committee. Rick, you as well, keeping on top of things. And since we won't have a July 3rd meeting, I just want to let everybody know the Mayor's Youth Council will be selling drinks along with the Police Explorers at the 4th of July. So if you're thirsty, please go buy some Cokes from them because they're kind of fundraising for their next trip. We got to get started early, so please help them out. Thank you.
Thank you.
A drink.
That's all, Mayor.
Councilman Hodge.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of items. I wanted to ask I wanted to ask staff, I know we've been somewhat advertising the online bill pay for our utilities department. So I would like to see if we can, the online bill pay for our utilities department, I'd like to have a little bit more PR put behind it, maybe some signage put on the building where people come in and pay so they can see the signage with the website and their options, and maybe when we send out our utility bills, maybe put some type of write-up or some type of eye catcher in there, a little flyer in there, so we can PR that a little bit more. I kind of noticed that the line, it's not as long as it was as it normally. It's usually in the street, but it was still kind of long this afternoon. So it's something that we might want to look at, and maybe even look at when they come in. And that's something I probably need to talk with Mr. Paulson about as well. So when they come to pay, maybe do a dollar fee when they come and pay in person, and maybe that'll help influence individuals to start using the mail and online, and kind of lighten some of the customer service issues that we may have over there. Also, the resolution, we had talked about a resolution for creating documentation in reference to, and I know that Mrs. Gardner had mentioned some of the code changes on the code for new infill housing, being able to underground the service lines. I haven't heard it. It seems that kind of died away, so I want to make sure that gets taken care of. And finally, I just want to, the city of Homestead should be proud of itself. Myself, the mayor, and Ms. Wallman went to the APPA conference in Chicago, and just talking with some of the brethren that have utilities and some of their issues, we're so far way ahead of the game. It's like some of the things that they're discussing and talking about, it's like, we already done that. We've done that. Well, we're doing that. Yeah. So, I kind of felt like, I could be doing some of the seminars because we've already implemented a lot of the things that they were talking about and all our issues. So we're way ahead of the game. So that's good news, knowing that there are other utilities around the nation that are just now talking about and discovering some of the things that we've already implemented with the buying the gas up front and binding their sources and things of that nature. So it's just a really good thing to know that where we stand as a city. And that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Howard. Vice Mayor?
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Wright, I meant to ask you earlier when we met, it was one of the items on my checklist. Is it true that we should be seeing some headway in the very near future on our annexation proposals where the moratorium that was put in place should be expiring?
Well, it's really expired. They had the time has expired, but it hasn't officially been removed. What we did week before last, we had the team meet again to revive our annexation requests. They're now refreshing the people who had requested in the letters that they had sent in, and we do have from the Attorney's Office, Mitch Bierman is making contact with Commissioner Sejas to see where we stand on moving forward to push our annexation again.
Yeah, that seems to be a recurring question I'm getting, as well as City Hall, and if you could touch base with our architects and see if maybe we could get some preliminary renderings, the rough sketches of what it may look like from the outside. I think the public's really interested in seeing that moving forward and is very interested in knowing what that may look like. So if we could get that going. And I want to be real careful here because this touches on some quasi-judicial issues. I just want to say to council that it's the hope of the manager and I that we can bring in a workshop forum the final status situation proposal on a potential resolution of the 93 agreement.
We're certainly not going to debate the ins and outs of that in articles. We'll sit down and do it so that there is no confusion in the public and no premature discussion. We'll just lay it before you and move forward from that point. And I think that's plenty said in light of some quasi-judicial issues there. I just wanted to assure you that we recognize that June 5th date has come and gone, and we're not unmindful of that, not ignoring it, and preparing to get something before you for our discussion. And I know Mr. Waldman will probably have something more on this. I just hope that everybody comes out. I know you've got a fantastic 4th of July program put together. I think this city really turned the corner last year as a regional 4th of July municipal type event, and I know from the promotional materials that I've seen that it will be bigger and better, and will be the place to be on 4th of July for those who aren't fortunate enough to leave town. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. I'm glad you shared this 1993 with it, because I was about to ask you for a status report. So,
thank you.
We look forward to the workshop. Councilman Porter.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple items, fairly brief. In the last meeting we had, we have so many hurdles when it comes to the transportation initiative, and as we all know, we went to Washington and were able to acquire, I think it was $7.6 million. Is that not correct, Mr. Manager? $7.6 million?
That's correct.
In federal monies. 5.6 of that was allocated for the 328th Street project, and then the balance was allocated for the West Mowry project.
That's correct.
And if at all possible, I'd like to be able to get some clarification from the county as to the flexibility of the movement of those dollars. I know when the troops went to Washington really wasn't able to let us move that federal money quite as easily as the county monies would be able to be moved. So could we get something fairly formal from the county in that flexibility?
We'll request that. They've indicated to us verbally that there should be no problem. We haven't seen any resistance to moving money to Campbell Drive, county money to Campbell Drive.
Correct.
Federal money will still go to Lucy Street as it was intended, but the money that the county was going to use for Lucy move over to Campbell with our new issue there.
Well, that's huge in us as a community being able to overcome some of our challenges on the Campbell Drive scenario that we face right now. Also, when we talk about the West Mowry project, that also is a county project, correct?
That's correct.
And we have a couple of $1 million on the table allocated for that. Not to jump off of a project, but start arguing for another project, we probably should start putting in some words into the county about some assistance in the West Mowry, because we've had to move some monies around over time from that project because of necessity. But I think it'd be nice to now not be the #1 project, but we should probably put that on the list and start pecking on the county about giving us some assistance to fix that project that's been on the table for probably 6 or 7 years.
Correct.
So as we go forward, can we start that ball in motion? And I would like to say also that there's a brochure where we have a park watch program that is in conjunction with the Parks and Recreation and the police department. And I want to be very complimentary of both agencies in putting their heads together and taking a look at the park issues. Ms. Waldman, I know your committee and you guys have met with the police department, and they're totally in support of your objective there, where the citizens can actually help us police our own parks, our own community parks, because we do have a fairly large number of neighborhood parks. And I know that this will be on the city's website, and where we'll be able to post the numbers and ways to report illegal activities in your community parks, whether they're a 911 emergency or just you want to call the police department and get someone over to come over and check out some groups that may not necessarily be in the right place, let's just say. And also, they do have a number where they're going to let us as a community be able to identify potential hazards in those parks, because certainly we all look at things through different eyes and different mindsets. So if you see what may appear to be a potential hazard for a child or an adult, there will be a number there for you to call and let us as a Parks and Rec division go out and inspect and address those issues. So my compliments to the Parks and Rec and Ms. Wallman and your group, and to the chief for you guys putting together a joint venture that I think will be tremendous for this community to bring the parks back. Bring the parks back to the community and take it away from the folks that are out there abusing the system. So my hat's off to you both, and thank you very much, Mayor. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Porter. Councilman Wallman?
And I'm sorry, Ms. Wallman, if I stole any of your discussion.
No, that's fine. I was looking for Councilwoman Gardner, but she's already gone. Okay. All right, Mr. Rosner has a time clock on me, so I have to hurry. I'm very pleased and proud to announce that included in the 07 budget appropriations recently passed by the state of Florida and signed by the governor was a $500,000 cultural facilities grant, and it was awarded by the Florida Department of State Division of Cultural Affairs, and it was awarded to the Senior Citizen Center. This grant will allow us to have the commercial component that we talked about when we first brought forth the master plan for the Senior Citizens Center. It will allow us to have our multi-purpose performance area with stage, sound, and lighting. And of course, this will also serve as a banquet hall and a meeting room. It will be a wonderful community room for the city as well. And I think it's so important that this grant was awarded, and it will be designated to the cultural component of the center, because so often we forget about the arts and we forget about the culture that we need to always preserve in a city. So I'm very pleased to announce that we did get that grant. Mr. Porter talked about our Park Watch program. We'll be giving these out throughout the city. They're little memo pads that have the phone numbers for the emergency situations, non-emergencies, and park safety hazard information. So they'll go on your refrigerator or your file cabinet and your phone, and we'll be passing these out at the Mayor's State of the City address and throughout the city. This is a wonderful program, and thanks to the police department and Mr. Porter's direction, we were able to put this actually, it's in the works, and it's going to be working very quickly, and I know we're going to see a huge difference. And when I go around talking to people, their biggest complaint about the parks is that they want to keep the parks safe. So this is a concern in any city. So what the police officers are going to do, they're going to actually go to the houses that are near the parks, let them know what's going on, let them, make sure they have all the phone numbers that they need. We're going to do a huge media blitz and let the public know that, we're there, we're watching. We're not redoing every park in the city for nothing. We're doing these parks because we want to make sure that they're going to be something that we can be proud of and that will be with us for generations to come. So anyway, that's in the works. We had our Blakey Park Master Plan Community Vision Workshop last Saturday. I was in Chicago, so I'm sorry I wasn't able to be there, but over 100 people showed up, and that speaks just volumes to me. And I understand that they were very enthusiastic and they had some wonderful ideas, so more will be coming out of that. And I want to thank the Police Explorers because they grilled hamburgers and hot dogs all day, so that was a really nice thing for them to do. I mentioned at the HERO meeting that the Biscayne Everglades Greenway Community Workshop is this Thursday night. It's going to be held at the college at 6:30 p.m. at the Aviation Building F, room F222, and this is going to be a presentation of my pet project of the Greenway Trail, and we really need the citizens' participation and input, because as of right now, the #1 routing is going to go right through the historic downtown, and we want that. We want that very much. So we're going to be discussing different alternate routes, and so if anybody can come out and to support that, I would really appreciate it. There's going to be a lot of people there. Our summer camp report FICO Williams is already over capacity. You know, we went 2 years without a real summer program, and now, you know, we're back, and FICO Williams is going really strong. The baseball camp is already 2/3 full. Very excited about it. The parents love it. The children love it. I think we need to make sure in our master plan, as we're going through, I know we've already approved the master plan for the Southwest area, but we need to also keep in mind and be mindful that just this season, with only a month's notice, you know, we're over capacity with our summer program, so we have to make sure that we have enough room to house as many children as we need. So that's something we need to be mindful about. The 4th of July concert, it is going to be something. Thank you, Mr. Losner, Vice Mayor, for mentioning that. As you all remember, last year we had the Elvis impersonator. Well, this year we've got the Jimmy Buffett, almost Jimmy Buffett band. So it's going to be fabulous, though. And we filled the stadium and the parking lot last year, and I'm anticipating the same thing is going to happen. The gates open at 4:30, and it's free to the public. The pre-show starts at 5:30. 6:30 to 9 is a concert, and the name of the band is the Caribbean Chillers, and it's the nation's #1 Jimmy Buffett tribute band. We're going to have a rock climbing wall. We're going to have an obstacle course. We're going to have arts and crafts for the kids, lots of food, and of course buy your sodas from the Mayor's Youth Council. And the fireworks will start promptly at 9 p.m. and it's a huge, huge firework display. So it's going to be just tons of fun. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention that today we had our annual volunteer luncheon for the Senior Citizen Center, and it was lovely. We had about 45 people there. We had a lot of fun, gave out a lot of awards, and I want to thank all city staff, and Ms. Bell was there, and Mr. Hodge was there, for the support, because these are seniors, they really love what they do. And I had a lady come up to me after the meeting and said, you know, I didn't realize how much I love the Senior Citizen Center until Memorial Day, and when the center was closed and she had nowhere to go. So it brings life into these people's lives. So thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. The Vice Mayor didn't keep up with your time.
I was talking as fast as I could.
You know, let me say, and I want to thank Councilwoman Wallman and Councilman Hodge for attending, along with myself, the American Public Power Association conference in Chicago last week. And as Mr. Hodge said, we should be proud of what we're doing with our utility in Homestead, because we're on the cutting edge of technology and other services that we're providing our citizens, and we were very proud to say that we're doing that already. So we were well represented. I just want to thank Councilwoman Wallman and Hodge for being a part of it. But the culminating event in Chicago was having the opportunity to have dinner with Ed and Clara Powell and Dr. Wallman on a Saturday evening. That was the culminating event. So thank you all. They flew up to Chicago, and we had dinner that Saturday night. It was a wonderful dinner at the Stetson restaurant that I highly recommend if you go down to Chicago. So
look for it in your evening news.
But it was very nice. So thank you all very much. The manager mentioned in his comment that Congressman Mario Diaz-Balart will be on Monday, and all of the elected officials that could join him, please, I don't know what my schedule is, but Mr. Vice Mayor, please be there, and any other council member. You've done a fabulous job, and I think Councilwoman Bell mentioned that when we went to Washington that Tuesday, we had lunch with him, and he had just come from an appropriation committee meeting and announced that the city had received $1.368 million. So he's doing a fabulous job for the people of City Homestead, and I want to again compliment the elected officials who were there. The Vice Mayor was present, Councilwoman Wallman, Bell, Hodge, and Porter.
No, I had to cancel.
No, Port had to cancel. Yeah.
Sorry.
So, but just a fabulous trip. Certainly like to thank Miami-Dade Fire Department for the groundbreaking of the first new fire station, and I'm told in the next couple of months we'll have another groundbreaking for a second new fire station in the city of Homestead. So we are really making progress on that, and thank Commissioner Moss and his leadership and the other commissioners for supporting Homestead. On the I got a note from Councilwoman Garner that her appointment to the Charter Review, Mr. Nick Sencor, will not be able to participate, and she's asking that the council approve her replacement of Mr. Tom Jones to serve as her appointee. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved, Mayor.
Moved by Mr. Porter. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Hodge. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And let me make a comment about the ones that are serving Homestead. And I say that because we have a lot of volunteers in this community, and we don't say enough about what they do to help us do our jobs better. So I just want to comment on it and to ask that the staff look at some point, recognizing the ones that are serving Homestead and just going the extra mile. We get emails and letters all the time from people complaining, but very few of people saying, well, I have an expertise in this area and I want to volunteer, I want to make a contribution. But there's a few that just do a tremendous work for the people of Homestead and never get noticed, don't want to be noticed, to be honest with you, just do it because their heart's in the right place. So at some point, I just think we need to share that. And I do know we do it during the Christmas holidays, especially the ones that serve in all these committees. But there's some out there just go the extra mile, and I just think we need to recognize them at an appropriate time.
I'll take that on, Mayor.
And that's all I have. Thank you all so very much for coming out. Have a good evening.
What about public comments?
It's earlier in the agenda.